I was shocked by the Brazilian President Lula's comments speaking at the African Union Summit in Ethiopia when he said, as you know, what is happening in the Gaza Strip with Palestinian people has no parallel in historical moments. In fact, it did exist when Hitler decided to kill Jews. As you know, the State Department has for years used the IRA definition, which includes contemporary examples of anti-Semitism, such as drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. I'm concerned about President Lula's statement. What does the State Department have to say about this sort of anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Well, it's clear that his statement tripped the IRA definition of what constitutes anti-Semitism. I know that the secretary spoke to him directly when they were at the summit, and I know that the spokesmen at the State Department amplified the State Department, the secretary's comments and repeated them. I also know that on the ground there has been a significant body of people, of political leaders, government leaders who have taken issue with this statement, but it's very disturbing. And it's anti-Semitism, as is denial. You know, someone earlier mentioned Holocaust denial. Holocaust denial took 2 decades to get any traction at all. October 7th denial took 2 days. 3 days before people were saying it didn't happen, it's a lie, it's made up, and that's extremely disturbing.
In Brazil alone, there has been a 1,000% increase in anti-Semitic attacks in the last few months. What are the consequences for a Petro or a Lula or a Zelaya to be insulting Israel?
First of all, when I go to these countries, my deputy goes to these countries, or when I meet with their representatives here, we unequivocally indicate that such statements are out of bounds. When
and what do they respond?
They listen.
Brazil, for instance, in Brazil.
Yeah.
So what happened with Brazil? The most important Latin American country in size.
When President Lula made his statement comparing Israel's actions to Hitler's,
that's pretty bad, isn't it?
I would say it's as bad, almost as bad as it gets. I can't think of it getting much worse.
All right. So what did you say?
Well, at that point, he was in Africa, as was the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken.
So what did his people say?
And they met. And I know that in their meeting, Secretary Blinken called him out for having said that. And in fact, he did so within the context of his personal history, because as you may well know, his stepfather was a survivor of the Holocaust, a very prominent.
But apparently he's forgotten. So cutting to the chase. So what are the consequences coming from the United States to these countries if they continue attacking and creating this anti-Semitism situation in the countries?
We continue to call them out.
That's all we do.
Well, I'm not sure. I think privately we indicate that this is something that is very troubling to us and very disturbing, that we disagree with it. Often we will call it out as having crossed the IRA definition and therefore being no question that they are anti-Semitic.